So I had a shopping cart full of clothing and also some other fabric, torn fabric, big pieces of fabric, small. There was some wool in there, I think. And I didn't know what to do with it. So I got the shopping cart first and I just tilted it on its side. Um, it was between it was along the side of the wall, between the wall and the pillar. And I tilted it on its side, so actually the shopping cart fell over, all the stuff fell out, and it filled the space between the pillar and the wall. I sat down next to the shopping cart with the clothing, and I just started to pick up the clothing and fold it or arrange it in a certain way. And I wanted things. I sat with my back to the wall, and I wanted things to either move away from the wall or along the wall. When I would find a piece of fabric, torn fabric or whatever, I would just throw it over my shoulder without looking. So what it resulted in was a neatly ordered sort of composition of clothing in front of me and to the side, and then behind me just a wild mountain of fabric. And then once I had gotten out of the shape, there was just this shape where nothing was, where I had sat. It was very varied in colors, all the clothing. I tried to contrast the different colors as much as possible, so each item of clothing was sort of visible on top of the next item, just radiated out from the shopping cart on one side and the pillar of the wall, and then this sort of radiating clothing composition coming out.
So I worked with wool in the main hall. I wanted to use as much space in the width of it as possible. And I just started making small forms. I thought about the intricate shapes, but the material doesn't really work with that. So I had to force it a bit to behave because I wanted to make um, um, these shapes all out of the same piece of wool. I didn't want to cut it too much. I did end up having to do that, but that was fine. I taped it to the wall so it didn't move too much. I think it worked really well because it was just a small interruption. There was just the people walking through the space. They just had to hop a little bit up, and you could see them taking this really exaggerated big step, even though you could just keep walking and it would have been fine. Yeah, so I was really happy with it.
I use all kinds of materials that differs from wool, pellets, wood, cardboard, tiles. I really like tiles, and I like big spaces with a lot of light and kind of maybe the white cube for this one. And I always get started with just a pile of my materials I already like. So I just put them all together, and then like I first do a first dig. I get out what I really like, and then I start building and putting it away and getting it, and then something forms. I don't have an image in my head already, but I just start. I play a lot, and therefore also my sizes of my installations, that's always completely different. I can make really tiny ones from only a few tiles, or I can make big ones with palettes and mirrors. And therefore, like all my installations are different, and I can't really, like there are always these materials, like hard and soft materials that combine, and soft colors that always come back, but the form is never the same. But I do try to make people curious with the materials, that they are not sure what it is. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. Sometimes I use the direction of space, because it also directs the people. So for instance, now I use the hallway. So people are always walking like this. And then I'll never make an installation that goes this. I always like to go on with the space and go on with people. And for now, how I'm working now, I'm really happy. And I really like this. And I like to play with it and to actually build it and see how people interact with it and to see how it interacts with space.
Made a installation with wooden roller, ink roller, some plastic and rope and metal wire and black fabric. And I placed it at the closest position to me where there was enough light to see something of it. I started off with not knowing anything about what I was going to do. And it was kind of small in the beginning. Spent a lot of time making something very small. And it was shaped in, connection of wires and stuff, and the metal fabric was disconnected more because I folded it. And the roller was dark wood color and the metal was a dark metal color. So very dark. And relation to the space was just that it was connected to the space. I mean, I used the space to connect back to the little metal piece of metal wire. The result was big, I guess.
So right now I'm making this installation, and a big part of it is going to be a wall painting. So I'm making it with acrylics and different types of colors, like mostly blues and pinks. And I want to close. I'm working on the under the stairs, like the small hallway there, and I want to like make it like a tiny room or something with like fabric, and also I want to put some smell or something. It's going to be very small and intimate installation. I want to be like one person at a time or two people at a time to be there and just have a moment for themselves. The relation to the space would be, I think I have the most intimate space, like the distance between the wall painting and you, it's really not that much. So I thought it was important that people would be close with, although maybe you can't really take distance to see everything, but you're just seeing the details and you're really intimate with within the space. I'm busy with this at the moment, so I still have to test it out if it works, and still have to finish it. So that's for now.
I did an installation on the upper part of the main hall, and I used wool, which I like to always start with lines going from one place to another, all parallel to each other. And I got a pedestal and kind of made it look like a shrine-ish. And I got all my knitted squares and put them on the table so that it kind of looked like this old lady's shrine or something like that. And I got some plants and things that I found around my studio and in my bag and put them there, and it just looks like a collection of someone's things that someone worships. Oh wait, I'm going into what it means. So I like to use colors that go with each other, and this time I used this orange wool with white and yellow knitted squares. What is the relationship? Well, I used a pillar, so a pillar and then the lines going off into the ceiling, and then it uses a corner, and
There's like the straight pillow with, yeah, something like that. Yeah, wasn't too big.
Well, some of the materials I used for one of my installations was some bin bags, a woven basket, and some nylon strings and tape as well. I chose the spot in the hall which, just as the corridor opens up into the large space, one of the corners on the side there. I got started by placing down the a bin bag and the woven basket. I really liked the contrast of the kind of white and the black. It just did something, and then from there I suddenly realized I didn't need much more, so I stuck to bin bags. I think it ended up being about maybe 2-3 meters tall. Yeah, in kind of a 1 square meter size. The shape was kind of fluid. I didn't really stick to a distinct square. The thing that kind of put the outline most was one bin bag on the floor, but some of the ropes were going off to the side, kind of just to hold everything in the space that I wanted to kind of use. Yeah, the colours were, I really liked in the end, the kind of contrast of the black against the white walls, and it matched the basket that I had used, and I used some paper as well, so everything kind of complemented each other. And in terms of relation to the space, it kind of changed the corner. I liked how it kind of grew off the corner and seemed like it could have maybe come from around the corner. I really liked the result. It was very fluid, very kind of almost as if it had moved there or had been frozen. So I liked it a lot.
I did this like spilling installation. There was a bunch of plastic bags that were spilling out of a see-through cup, and the idea was that the plastic would look like some kind of goo or liquid, and it would spill down the stairs. And I also put like tissue paper that was purple. So I made it like into really small balls and placed in particular places on the plastic bag. So you have the contrast between black and purple. Yeah, the only relationship to the space was that I used the stairs to have some kind of more of the shape and more of the like flowiness of how liquid should spill. That's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say.
Lots of rubbish, paper and tape, lots of tape. We'd spot every spot. It was rideable, so we can go everywhere. Wouter had a speaker, and we were playing at that, and then I heard like a car sound coming from it, and then we thought, oh yeah, let's build a car. That's how you do that. The thing itself was small, but the riding thing was the whole main hall, I think. And you had, of course, the loudness, so it became annoying. Car shaped. The colors were green, blue, red, black, every kind of paper we could find. Annoying. No, yeah. Annoyingness. I don't know if that's a word. Annoyingness. Yeah.
Yeah.
And laughter. Annoyingness and laughter. Those like mixed feelings. Not from us, but from people around us. Yeah.
Well, today I made an installation. I used the stairs, and I used also papers, a very long roll, and through through the things I kind of move it through, and I try to make the stairs less of a really straight thing that you see when you come into the hall, and as something through metal and plastic kind of thing. And I wanted to look more organic. The installation is as big as one part of the stairs. I chose one side. From up till the end is actually a very long kind of swirl with a lot of shapes. Some more neat, strict shapes, really pointy. The other one's more organic and round. The color of the paper is white, so that's also the color of the installation. But because of the metal look and the gray of the stairs, this is a kind of contrast. Well, first I looked up and I really wanted to do something with the stairs, and also with a big roll of paper because I had it with me and I didn't use it for a long time, and I just thought, I want to make something with form, with shape, and what is the best way to do that, or to show a lot or a really big work. And then I instantly thought of the stairs and how I could shape that, and also to change the space in a bit. I made a point on the upper edge, and it looks kind of like, for me it's kind of fairy tale kind of thing. Like it could be stairs out of the sky, but maybe that's personal.
My installation started a bit slowly because I had a hard time on thinking of what I wanted to do, the thinking part, of course. And I decided to pick up my overhead projector and just shine on some walls and see what it would bring me. And it was very variable because I could really decide on where to shine it and what I wanted to shine on, and adjust the overhead projector, put it more to the back or to the front, and it was really like just how I wanted to have it at that moment. And besides the overhead projector, I used some pieces of lace and some pieces of plastic, just some sheets where I could shine through, and also plastic paper to draw or write on, to also put on the overhead projector and shine on the wall. There wasn't really a color, I think, in my installation. It was just light and darkness and shadows, and that was what I played with. If I could put it in some kind of hallway and make it look like the hallway was flat instead of that you could walk in it, and really play with that. And I could also move the sheets that the thing what was shining was really moving. It was just to fuck up the space, I think, to make it something else than what it was. And the result was that I got very much compliments. Like people thought it was very beautiful. It was very out there, even especially when the light was going was less than during the day. In the evening, the light was better from the overhead projector.
Okay, I chose two pants, and I thought putting them on a window up on the main hall. And the idea came to me from Suzanne telling us she wants to see a subtle installation. It was two pad size work, but when you saw overall the installation, I think it looked much bigger because it overlooked the whole main hall, which is a big space. Shapes were two pants and a window. And I think the relation of the installation to the space is nobody in the main hall looks for where the natural light comes in. And I think it's very interesting for me because what I would do first to see where the natural light comes into a certain place. So I kind of wanted to underline this difference between me and others that was in this project. And the result was everybody looked for it. Nobody could find except for two people, which one saw me while I was doing, the other one I already told the idea.
Well, I started the installation by finding some materials on the pile of materials that we selected. Then finding some that interested me, and then going on with those colors or that texture. It was at itself not that big, but it took up some space. I think 2 meters high and 1 meter broad, and it went in by half a meter. I think it was a basket which had a grayish white look. Then I used an orange scarf and white wire and a white balloon and some foam thingy, which was yay big. The shape of the installation, it was from a round center that was just a bit high that you can look into it easily. And from that on, I put white wire, the ball of yarn, I think it's called, which was white, draped it down, and then I thought maybe it would be funny to make a noose out of a white wire and hang a white balloon, because that's a really, really strong contrast to the orange scarf, which was like kind of like the background. So that was really interesting. You could look into it, so it was a little bit bigger. Well, it came into the space, so it had interaction with the person that was standing in front of it or besides it, because it was moving because of the balloon just hanging there in mid space. While people were walking around, it would move, and the shadows would relate to that. The result was a very interesting, intense orange-white installation, which was striking. I thought it was good.
So we used the shopping trolley, right? Shopping trolley with some clothes, and we chose next to the stairs spot and the ceiling a little bit, and we started. Yeah, that was the first day we started like doing something. It was it was very natural because we just started working. We just made some knots on the clothes, and then how big was the installation? It was very big. It was the biggest thing I've ever made in my life because it was like a very tall, and it had like a lot of clothes hanging from the ceiling and going all of them into a shopping trolley. It was like a vomit almost, and the shape of the installation. Well, it was a bit triangular, right? Yeah, maybe it can be. It was a bit like this. Yeah, like triangular, but also it had like a wave shape, so it could be like more organic for me. It was very interesting, and the colors of the installation. That's a good part because it was like a total spectrum from black to white. I think we had like a different. How do you say this? Like strings, different strings of color, and we connected all of them into this like mouth kind of, and the relation of the installation with the space it made me feel the space like a bit different. For me, I didn't see it like as that. Even I thought it was bigger for me. Sometimes I find it find it a bit small. And then yeah, it was like this huge pile of things over there. And what is the result? For me, it was impressive. Impressing. I'm very used to think a lot about every project I make, and then it was like magic. It just appeared there, and I was like impressed of what we did, and yeah, I think that's all.